Greetings, friends of Hagne Initiatives, bringing you conversations that build. They build you to become a better version of yourself. And when we are speaking, when we are talking to you, we are also talking to ourselves, because many times we are answering questions that our followers have asked, or questions that we have in the past listened to, but we have continued to work around them to get possible answers. And today I'm really, really thrilled to be at one of the country's universities. I'm at the University of Rwanda campus, Gikondo campus. And for me, every time I come back here, it is home, because this is where I got my bachelor's degree. So it is a wow for me. It is joy. It brings all the memories. At the end of this video, I would ask you to like, to subscribe, to share, but more so give us comments, because from those comments we get more lessons, we get more desire to do further research. And in today's conversation, I'm with the head of corporate communication at the University of Rwanda. He is a father, he's a husband, and he has 4 children from the conversation we had offline. And I would like him to introduce himself a little bit more. Thank you so much for accepting me to come and speak to you today.
Thank you, Agnes.
Yes.
My name is Kabagambe Ignatius Rwemaho. I am what Agnes has said about me, father, husband, and the staff of the University of Rwanda, head of corporate communication. I also handle the aspect of internationalization and relations with people who studied at UR, relations with the alumni. Besides that, I am also a student, a researcher, if I might put it like that, of media and communication. So that is what I do for a living. That is what I do with passion. And the conversations we are going to have, if they are going to be touching on that field, I'll be happy to go along.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me in your office today. And thank you for accepting that I come to speak to you. And in today's topic, I want us to dig deeper in especially this thing called media. And I hear people saying media, social media, platform, all those sorts of names.
Yes.
I would like you to share with our viewers and
Yes.
followers, what is that animal called media, social media?
Yes.
Yes.
So first, media. Media is channels through which we send messages, through which we communicate. Media is plural. The singular is medium. So whenever you hear people talking about media, it means more than one medium. And so media can be medium, or now media include radio, include TV, include a phone, include even this that helps my message, my words come to you and you can listen, is also a medium. So medium is that tool, that particular thing, that particular enabler of messages moving from one part to another, from one person to another, from one part of the world to another. So that is media for you.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. I believe our followers can understand. You're teaching me something. I had never thought about medium.
Yes.
So medium is like the means.
Media are those channels, are those roads, call them roads, that allow information to flow from one end to another end.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Now, can you explain to us or to our viewers, what about when we qualify it with another word, social media?
Right. So social media is a phrase that is not very old. So we have always had medium and we have always had media. And now, not so long ago, but also not so recent, social media comes. Social media, we can say in simple terms, is that media that has a lot of involvement of any member of society. One thing that comes to your mind when social media is talked about is what we see, the WhatsApp is a social media.
Okay.
YouTube is a social media. Twitter, now called X, is a social media. Facebook, social media.
Right.
Social media, because ordinary members of society can be deeply involved without the regulation and management of media outlets, of journalists, of media experts. You can be an influencer when you specialize in things, saying things that are funny.
Like you want to be a comedian.
You want to be a comedian. You want to be a comedian. You're someone who lives a very light life. You don't have to be saying lots of truths for you to be an influencer.
Oh. Okay.
So you only need to find things that pull people's attention.
That the society will like.
Yes. It doesn't have to be good news. So you can be an influencer, but again, when you are an influencer, doesn't mean you influence all people. There are people who look at you and follow what you say on your X handle, on your Facebook page, on your YouTube channel, and they look at it and say, "No, I don't watch that.
Yeah,
I don't read. That's not for me." But there are others who will spend time
looking at that.
So you can influence. So the reason influencers are important and are talked about is because, like them or ignore them, take them seriously or not, if you are dealing with the society, if you might want to work with them, because you can work with them, they are being followed. They have influence. So when you want to send a message to the society, you may find yourself having to work with them.
Oh.
So it's those people who have influence through what they say. They have accumulated popularity. They have accumulated followers. They have an audience. So those ones become influencers. If you have 200 followers or 1,000 followers on X, you're going to be called an influencer. But you have 20,000, you have 50, and you can see the number of followers is always growing. So you can take that person to be an influencer. Now you are going to be an influencer because of how regular you're going to be sending your messages, and I'm sure the likes are going to keep growing. And then your YouTube channel, operated by you, will soon be a social media influencer.
I think I have another question to that.
Yes.
And probably we can come back to that in a minute. But
Yes.
I wanted to understand from you, from your experience, what could be the best attributes of a media influencer? Because as you have mentioned, you don't have to be, highlighting only good things.
Yeah.
However, I believe for the fact that we want to see people becoming good citizens,
yes,
where people being good to themselves, but also to the people around them. We are looking at influencers that are, good influencers, or can I call them positive influencers? What would be the best, attributes? I know for sure there are influencers that don't necessarily speak good things and they have a huge following. But we don't want to dwell so much on those. We want to dwell on the people that, help others to become better versions. What would be the best attributes for such media influencers?
responsible people, responsible communicators, people who take time to make sure what they are saying is accurate. People who take time to make sure what they are saying is true. People who take time to make sure what they share with the public will only have good impact. Is not misleading.
Yes.
It's guiding people towards a good cause. If you are a social media influencer who is a youth and you have a huge following of the youth, you need to be mindful of what you say, including, by the way, your behavior, because when you are an influencer, you are a kind of role model. Influence comes naturally from being admired.
Yeah.
So when you are being admired, when you are being watched, say by the youth, you need to be mindful of your behavior in society, of your image. Because if you are admired and then you behave in an irresponsible way, then you are going to have the potential to mislead or to lead others into a wrong path. I like the Tumwe race, for example. I like the Tumwe race campaign. Campaign, yeah, Tumwe race, drink less means drink less, drink responsibly. Tumwe murugero, drink in a way that
it's not disgracing.
Yeah, it's
society,
not because drinking has a number of, if done to an extent, a certain extent, will have certain repercussions on your life. How much money you spend, how much time you spend drinking, and how much time you will spend nursing the hangover when you have taken so much. How it wastes your physical life, your health, and things like that. And so, if you are social media influencer who is, say, a youth, and you are not conscious about that, the influence you have on your youth, on fellow youth, you can easily take them to your side and the side of doing things that are not productive. So you need to be a good person. Be a good person, have certain manners, have certain considerations, understand the laws of the country and the policies, and you are in there, you are vibing, you are vibrant, you are active, but in good things.
Maintain the discipline,
maintain the
values,
have values, and make sure that you are in the line. Say, if you are an educationist, for example, if you are a youth and you've been to school and you know what education does, and you understand how what was given to you by parents. Parents rarely gives bad things to their children.
Yeah.
And they are always happy when you continue in that, listening to them when you are young, but also doing what they taught you. And so a good social media influencer is a disciplined person, is a responsible person, is an informed person, is someone who always is mindful of what they are giving out to the people, what they are giving out and sharing to the people, because they know that if I don't sieve it, if I don't evaluate it, if I don't analyze it and simply give, they may just consume it, and it may have a negative effect on them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. And at Hagne Initiatives, we are striving so much to ensure that the conversations that we bring to you, our viewers, are conversations that are meant to build and not to damage. And that's why we have the conversation to speak about, a social media influencer.
Yes.
And thank you for the contributions. Should be a person with discipline.
Yes.
A person with values.
Yes.
A person that is not only struggling to get the mass, but struggling to understand and check what is it that you're giving to the bigger mass.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that brings me to my next question, which is about mainly you helping us to understand, because you mentioned you're a father,
yes.
you are a parent,
yes.
and I know here you're dealing with so many youth.
Yes.
What's your take on the current trend of social media, and how do you connect that to managing youth? Because I know some parents are fighting with, don't take that phone, don't use the computer,
I know.
Some are hiding them,
yes.
Others are restricting them.
Yeah.
How do you manage that as a parent and as a guardian, as somebody who works continuously every day with the youth?
So it is a challenge, but it is a challenge we must deal with. In the era of digital media, it is very difficult, almost impossible actually, to restrict information flow or to have control over how information will flow, who will access it, and of course thereafter what they will do with the information, what they will believe about it, what they will reject about it. So it's totally important. It's totally impossible to control people, young or old.
Yeah.
And by the way, it is important to note that vulnerability of people in relation to media can happen to the young as well as to the old.
Of course, sometimes we go to bed, but you go with your phone and you stay on the phone until midnight.
Yes, I know. I've heard of couples. I've heard of couples, for example, who end up having conflict because the times for going to bed are different. One likes to watch certain series, taking a lot of time, while another one is going to rest, and you like to rest at the same time. But that one is not where, with adults, is not where society at the moment, call it the Rwandan society, it's not where what mainly gives people worries. It is mainly with the youth, like you said, where there are lots of concerns. What is on your mind as a parent is that people, our children, right from when they are 5 or 6 or 7, 8, 9, teens, mid-teens, late teens, they're still growing up in their mind.
Yes.
So they're not yet mature. And so lack of maturity means youthfulness. It means that age where you're still learning so many things. You're still developing physically, emotionally, intellectually, psychologically, socially. You are developing, you are learning things every day. Now, some of the things that you need to learn is what you see. Learn about is what you see, what you read, what you hear, what you watch. What sense do we make of what we see and what we meet? And so, because parents are aware that their children are still growing, they get concerned when growing in their mind. They get concerned because they know they are going to be watching a certain film, they are going to be watching a certain game, they are going to be viewing a certain episode, and they know it may be porn, it may be something that is very uncomfortable for their children to watch, and yet you don't have control. Your child, you may take away the phone, but when she goes to a neighbor or some other child in the neighborhood at school who may have a computer or phone, they are going to have access.
And this time now it's fully blown, like, they are making up for the lost time.
They are making for the lost time.
Yes.
That is one thing. The other thing is that to a youthful mind, to a mind that is still growing, which means they are very keen on exploring, wanting to find out. That's what growth means. You want to know what is there. When you restrict them, when you say don't use, you are raising their curiosity. They want to know why you are stopping them from doing certain things.
You are fighting an explorative mind.
Yes.
So how then should we handle ourselves?
Exactly. So for me, there is no solution in trying to limit access. You will never go anywhere. You will achieve nothing. Or you will achieve so little. For me, I would rather we are allowing people to access the information, but we are going ahead of them, or at least along with them, to study, to explore together, to talk about, to have a conversation, to understand what media has.
Yes.
What is in the media content? What is it intended? The person who created this and acted this film, who authored this, what was in their intention? And understanding that is called media literacy.
So basically, as a parent, you have to put yourself in position to learn together with your teenager or your youth.
We need to run away to distance ourselves from wanting to hide things from our children. Or desiring that they shouldn't be accessing certain things, certain information, because digital media has made it, the digital era has made it so easy for people of all ages to access media content. So instead of you as a parent, me as an educationist, spending time trying to limit or think about how I can limit, how I can stop my child to access. We can talk early enough with the child, with our children, what is in the media. And you would be surprised how even at an early age, you can have meaningful conversation with your children about what we can see everything, but we can take away only that is useful to us, to our mind, to our soul, to our spirit, to our heart, to our growth, to our development. We can talk. We can talk about that, including with your child of 8 years. Parents always tend to think that their little ones don't know so much. They think they shouldn't know so much, but most of the time, almost all the time, they already know a lot more than we think they know.
To the extent they will ask you a question as a way to validate or to check whether you're with them on the same page, or they're checking whether you actually even know what they're asking.
And because they have so many ways they can access what you are restricting them from accessing. And so I think they don't watch anything.
They hide things from you.
Why do you think? Okay, those of us who have teens, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You've heard about parents saying, "Oh my God, my children, whenever they are now in their rooms." So what it means is that they're having time to themselves. They're into their own space. Many times they're on their laptops or they're on their phones, watching things that they know you don't like them to watch.
But they have to find out.
So they have to watch it. They have to find time. So that's why they will go. Some of them will go into their rooms and lock, so that you have no access. So that you can't simply bang and get in and see what she's watching on her laptop. For me, the best would say, let the children watch things with you, find out what makes them curious, what they want to see, go into it with them, and then talk about how dangerous some are. So analyze critically the content. Teach them, let them even be creative in creating their own content. So media literacy is about that. That someone even at the age of 9, 8, 12, 13, because they have had time with the mature people, with the wise ones, with the educated, the more experienced, they have had time with them in things media content, information. They are able to make their own analysis. They are on to make their own evaluation. They are on to make their own rejections. They are able to make their own appreciation based on how reasonable, how useful, how true, how accurate is the information they are seeing. And many times they will have had that conversation with the mother, with the father. So don't block. Create a relationship with the children that makes them want to watch things with you because they now they trust you. You trust each other so much, the extent that you can watch something and then analyze it together and then agree that this one is not good for you. This one can depress you. This one can mislead you. And misleading means this is a lie, and this is why it is a lie. This is how you establish something that is truthful. This is how you can know that this one is just playing on you. This is the effect it can have on you if you watch it so much. So that is the media literacy we are talking about. Let us endeavor, strive to be more media literate instead of finding a way to block information to get to us or to our children, because in the digital era, that is impossible.
That's interesting. You have reminded me of so many things, and I just remembered it's a story from my friends that they had a TV back in the days, but they were not necessarily allowed to be on TV before 6, because they had to go to school, come back from school, do their errands, homework, and then at 7 they watch TV, like they have dinner, and then they are allowed to watch TV for like 1.5 hours. And then the TV, you know, back in the days, the TVs were carried from the bedroom to the living room and like that.
I know.
And so for them, because they wanted to watch, and when the parents were not around, what they would do, they would go to the room, carry the TV, fix it, and be like, they are watching, but they're on also, they are trying so much to hear whether somebody's hooting. So whenever the parents were hooting on the gate, they would carry the big thing, put it in the bedroom, and they all clean up and sit like nothing has happened. However, I also feel like when such a thing happens, then the children are learning something else, like they are learning lies. You know, they are learning to be cheats. They are not going to be Christians if the house is a Christian house. Because, you know, being a Christian and the children have not really been helped to be Christians that can confess that such a thing can happen. Then the other thing you have reminded me about is every time you hide things from children, that's the time when they want to dig deeper to understand the why. And you will notice most of the children are asking, but Dad, why are you saying this? Why, like the why, their whys never stop. And why to me is also a point of curiosity. They really want to understand. So that really shows me that even when we are managing, and maybe the other one you didn't mention is the chat GPT. In my own view, it looks like it's making people lazy. However, it's the own thing. How do you help your child to understand that chat GPT is there, but you still need to work on your brain so that, you know, it also produces something. Otherwise, when you're overly relying on chat GPT, then you won't really, you know, you won't help your brain. So I think what the message you have echoed on here is for our viewers and of course ourselves is we need to open up.
Yes.
Open up, have conversations with our children, and then help them to understand that this is the information available.
Yes.
But sieve it.
Yes.
Take in what is good and reject what is not good. Because otherwise, if they take in everything, then everything will damage them.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, that brings me to my other point, and for our viewers.
Yes.
Again, as a parent and as an educationist, today, what are the key, like 3 things you would want to share with our viewers that they must, you know, start practicing even from now? Yes. Because there are some of them might be long term. I've heard of parents who said, okay, in the long term or in the mid-term, I'll have to remove TV. Or I will have to be blocking the internet, or I'll be, you know, checking the passwords and all of that. But, you know, what is it that you can recommend to parents, like now?
Right, thank you.
And when I say parents, I mean the caregivers and, you know, guardians also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think, in my view, point number 1 is that blocking the internet, stopping the subscription, the monthly subscription, because you can see that they have free access to internet, and you know they already have phones or they have laptops. Blocking the internet is only postponing the challenge you would rather face early.
Yes.
Because if you limit the access of your child to internet, if she's, say, 13 or 14, when she goes to university or to high school, she'll access internet. And then she'll access it when you are not there. She will still see what you didn't want her to see. And by the way, you may pretend or you may think that, okay, I would rather she is seeing it when she's 16 or 17, not when she is 13 or 14, because I think then she'll be old enough, mature, what you call mature. For me, I think that is not true. Because we only grow with what we see, with what we do. We are grown by what we go through. We are grown by what we know. When you don't see something, when you don't experience something, when you haven't met something, you don't know it.
Yeah.
You don't even know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it is very true with information and the media literacy we're talking about. So a child can be more media literate at 14 years, and she knows how to look critically at media content and know what to use and what to reject, more than a child who is 19.
Yep.
And so one of the takeaways is that let us delve deep into the sea of information with our children, live with them there, and stop being police women and men when it comes to access to content and instead accept that the reality we are living with at the moment is free flow of information and free access of information. And this information, some of it is good, other information is not, for many reasons, because it's not true, because it's misleading, because it's not accurate, because it's not reliable. And so you, the mother, who has a mature brain, who has more knowledge, stay with your child in that class of learning about media. Don't block, go access and swim with your child in the information sea as you teach her how to navigate to make sure that she is not hurt or she is not negatively impacted by media content. Number two, and again related to that, we need to appreciate that accessing information or seeing what is on the internet is part of the growth that we want our children to. Because all the information is on, most of it is in the internet. The world is on the internet. The knowledge is in the internet.
We buy things on internet.
On internet. So children, their growth will be aided, will be boosted, will be supported when they are allowed to access internet. Their minds will be more thoughtful, more creative and innovative, because on the internet there are lots of good things and there are lots of unwanted things or bad things. And you don't have the ability, the capacity, the time to separate the bad from the good, so that only what is good is what your child. So let us first admit and accept that the internet is not bad. The internet is good. So let us first remove that. So internet is not bad because it has bad things and good things. You don't throw away the baby along with the dirty water. So internet is like a basin that has a baby that was dirty and then washed, bathed, and then at the end the water is dirty, and then you have to throw away the water, but there is also the baby. So the good things are in there, and that's the baby. The bad things are the dirty water. You don't throw away the baby along with the dirty water. So, and the solution is be there for your child and have a positive. Now that's the second takeaway. Have a positive attitude towards information, towards digital gadgets, towards laptops, towards phones, but make sure that before you allow full access to your child of those things, you have had conversations, intentional conversations, created time for media literacy sessions. And the chat GPT aspect, if you want to make that another point, chat GPT is good. It gives you answers to the questions in real time. Right now, in 5 seconds, it has given you what you...
It really saves time.
Yes, it saves time. By the way, even before ChatGPT came, we were doing lots of search.
Internet search, yes.
Internet searching from different applications or search engines and things like that. So ChatGPT has a way of making it a lot faster, a lot more comprehensive, a lot smarter. It answers you very fast. But again, it's there. And people love it. Why? Because it makes life easy for them. I use ChatGPT myself. But ChatGPT is more helpful to you when you already know something, when you already know a lot. If you put nothing in the chat GPT, it will give you nothing. Because many times when you ask it a question, it will also ask back for more context. If the context is not right, you will not get the right answers.
Correct.
So the people who get the best out of chat GPT are people who already have done enough, have done more, have done a lot before using the chat GPT. Ignorant people, people who don't have the knowledge, people who have misconceptions, people who don't know certain things are not going to get the best out of chat GPT.
Yes.
So, best students who have worked hard before ChatGPT or even during ChatGPT are the ones who are going to get the best results from ChatGPT. If you want it to write for you, let me say a story. I'm a journalist and ChatGPT can help me to write a story.
Good.
It can't create it. You must have been to a site, to an event, and you have a story and you have it written. And by the way, written where? So ChatGPT can help you maybe making it a little bit more better structured, finding a better word than you was to use, but the story is yours.
Yes.
ChatGPT may create for you a story, but that story will not be real about the event that you went to. So let's not again run away from ChatGPT or despise it or no, instead, let us learn and commit to getting the best out of a tool that has come to make life easy for us in terms of content generation, content creation, content structuring. And it can make things better, but you must have done your initial basic work. If you are going to rely it from start to the end, you are going to be producing a lot of fake.
Now you have spoken like a researcher, you know. In my earlier days in school doing accounting, there's something they used to tell us, garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
When we were using this online software, accounting software. So if you put in garbage, you'll get garbage. Which means even in ChatGPT, if you put garbage, you'll get garbage.
And you know, it is not too late to always learn something. That's why I'm back into class and researching. And you know, you don't know how excited I am and how feeling rewarded I am learning things. I don't know, maybe for you are like 28 years. So, but it's always good to go back to class.
Yes.
And learn new things. I would urge parents to always, you don't have to be in a class studying a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD.
But continuously work
learning,
on yourself.
finding out this that is on the internet that excites our children.
What is it?
Find out and learn, because the thing that our children follow are so exciting. How are you going to have a conversation with your child, over what they have seen on the internet if you don't go there?
And you know nothing about it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for all the points and the conversation today, Mr. Kabagambe. And thank you for watching, our dear viewers. He has closed on a note of, if you don't know, how are you going to speak to your children? So parents, guardians out here, please take a step to desire to unlearn and learn new things. So please, parents, be on the watch. Today we've been discussing about media literacy, the good and bad about it, and how we can walk a journey with our children, with the teenagers in our households, and also with people around us. From what you heard, Mr. Kabagambe has a lot in stock when it comes to parenting, and I hope
let's do it again.
He's going to come back to share with us, tips, lessons, and mistakes made in the parenting journey. Thank you. We urge you to subscribe, to comment, to share, because by sharing, you're giving information to a wider network we are speaking to the society out there, and together we grow to become better versions of ourselves.